The bad blood between the SEC and Ripple started in December 2020 when the SEC registered a lawsuit claiming Ripple Labs had violated securities laws by failing to register its XRP cryptocurrency as a security. The move was caused by the last SEC chairman Jay Clayton before he left office following Joe Biden's victory. There is much more happening recently in the news. Do you wish to know that? Then keep watching this video to find out. But first, we are giving away 25 XRP coins at the end of the month to one random subscriber to start on their XRP journey. All you need to do is to like the video, subscribe and comment your thoughts on XRP in the comment section. Welcome, XRP Army. Let's grow the XRP Lab community by pressing the like button and subscribe. When Ripple was using XRP as a driver of finance to its core market of seamless cross-border transactions for financial institutions, the SEC charged, something it had been doing for 7 years since its starting in 2013. The lawsuit not only caught Ripple by surprise but added even more chaos to an already convoluted regulatory conversation over whether cryptocurrencies should be regarded as securities, commodities, or something else. If cryptos are securities, as set by court precedent, they must be authorized and regulated by the SEC, requiring multiple company disclosures. Ripple doesn't consider XRP a security, thus it doesn't demand the SEC green light. Moreover, it states the SEC currently allows other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum to be traded like commodities. The blockchain networks of those cryptocurrencies aren't being demanded to register as security. The SEC claims that Ripple is different as XRP was actively used to finance Ripple's business and describes an investment in the company itself. Thus, it establishes security, not a commodity, and falls under the SEC regulatory purview under court precedent identified as the Howey test. Attorney and crypto legal specialist Jeremy Hogan says Ripple may have to wait a few months before trying to resolve their lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC accused Ripple late last year of allegedly selling XRP as a security. In a new video, Hogan remarks that the lawsuit's discovery phase doesn't stop until November 12, making it difficult for either party to negotiate an agreement if they still don't understand the extent of the other side's case. The problem with a settlement between now and November 12 is that the parties won't understand how vital each side's position is until after discovery closes. So even if they are looking at a slap on the compensation of millions of dollars, Ripple isn't going to care about the difference between spending $20 million versus $200 million. Any business cares about that and is willing to wait an extra couple of months to save millions of dollars potentially. The discovery phase is a period during a trial where one side collects the facts of the case or data from the other party. Hogan says that the SEC has a lot riding on proving that Ripple had fair notice or prior awareness that XRP was a security, and probably won't negotiate a settlement until that motion is seen through. Much impetus won't be seen for the SEC to settle until that hearing is heard. In other words, if they can't beat the defense, they just turn around and pay, which would mean getting the case settled. Because the fact is that Ripple desires this case over with the warning that the markets have to feel satisfied with any settlement and XRP gets relisted, which means that the problem child here is the SEC. If the SEC gambit loses, that's when the case has the best chance at resolving. Otherwise, they are still looking at the Ripple case leading the judge on summary judgment in early 2022. Chairman Gensler and the SEC must put out clear guidelines on what cryptocurrencies they observe as securities and which they do not, Senator Pat Toomey, ranking member of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, said recently. The lawsuit, which is currently going through the courts, has shown disturbing to Ripple's business, resulting in XRP being delisted from more than 50 exchanges and tanking its value. Ripple states that its domestic business has essentially been hindered, and it now relies on its overseas market for much of its revenue. Despite the business problems, Ripple denies back down, and they have no intentions to settle with the SEC. The case itself will be a huge test for Gary Gensler, President Biden's choice to run the commission. Gensler has promised to make regulating the nascent cryptocurrency business a top preference during his tenure. He has been more of an activist in the crypto space than his forerunner, Clayton. Gensler, who arrived before the Senate Banking Committee last week, revealed the SEC is looking to increase its jurisdiction over the crypto industry by perhaps seeking more regulatory power from Congress. This could establish bad news for Ripple and, indeed, the future of innovation in the crypto space, which experts say could be extinguished if Gensler gets his way. On Monday, Coinbase declared that it's dropping plans to launch a crypto lending program, caving to warnings from the SEC that it would sue the firm if it moved forward with the lending feature, which would enable customers to make interest on a stable coin by loaning it other traders. A stable coin is a type of crypto asset that is secured to a recognized currency like the dollar. The SEC says the feature would build security and need to be regulated as an investment product. Ripple's legal team said it has no plans to settle the lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Charles Gasparino reported. He tweeted Friday. Ripple's legal team said they have no plans to settle with SEC over a lawsuit on XRP, confident they can explain Gary Gensler in pursuing the case as picking winners and losers in the crypto business to the detriment of innovation. Apart from this, in January, Garlinghouse was questioned why Ripple did not settle with the SEC. He replied, "He can't get into specifics but know they have tried and will proceed with the new administration and try to resolve in a way so the XRP community can innovate, customers are protected, and orderly markets are preserved." Ripple and XRP advocates hope that the new SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, who taught crypto at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, would toss out the XRP lawsuit. They assume that there was a conflict of interest with previous SEC chairman Jay Clayton. In August, a government watchdog began reviewing the XRP lawsuit involving Clayton and senior SEC official William Hinman. Gensler has explained that he recognizes innovation. During a U.S. Senate Banking Committee discussion last week, the pro-Bitcoin Senator Cynthia Lummis asked him, "Do you support responsible innovation?" Gensler quickly replied, "Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, it brought us these lights in the room. It's brought us this facility to have a hybrid hearing with your fellow members. I mean, innovation is what promotes access, economic activity, and gives so many of us better opportunities in life." The SEC chairman has also said that Satoshi Nakamoto's discovery is fundamental. His innovation drove the development of crypto assets and the underlying blockchain technology, Gensler explained, adding that, "It has been and could remain to be a catalyst for change in the fields of finance and money." The XRP army, proponents and supporters of XRP, have found one of the 13 entries that count as internal SEC documents in the case. A speech draft of William Hinman, former SEC Director of Corporation Finance, is included as an entry in an email submitted for review and commentary by SEC officials. Hinman's speech is rated critical to the case's outcome since he announced that Ether was not a security in June 2018. Back then, Hinman claimed that he had warned Ripple about XRP and advised the company to halt its sales. On the contrary, when asked about Hinman's statement, Gary Gensler, the current SEC chair, refused to talk. With the ongoing investigation of the world's second-largest cryptocurrency exchange, Coinbase, and the firm behind the sixth-largest cryptocurrency, XRP, the XRP army asks why the SEC is picking winners and losers in the industry. The argument records back to Hinman's 2018 speech in the SEC proceedings upon Ripple since December 2020. With XRP's largest public holder under investigation by the SEC, institutional investors have not made big moves in altcoins since December 2020. However, it is fascinating to note that the number of active XRP wallet addresses has grown by over 200% in the past 3 months. Retail traders are choosing XRP despite recent delisting across several spot exchanges. This is bullish for XRP price in the long term. Let us know if you invest in XRP. If you want to continue knowing about XRP, we have 2 more videos waiting for you on the end screen to check out. Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Before heading out, kindly note that prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice. It would be best if you did not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered as financial advice. Do conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.